Hey guys, I know the lighting is garbage and the sound as well and the background is stupid, but I don't really care because I'm not a professional of any sort. So the date today is February 24th of 2019. And what brings me here today is my time hop uh, brought up my video from February 24th of 2016, which was the day before my 1 year of sobriety. My original date, yeah, I said it, my original date was February 25th, 2015. And I don't know, it just brought back some memories and stuff. A lot of people already know this, but maybe some don't. Whatever. I just want to get on here and tell my story of my relapse because it happened. And it was just interesting looking back at that video and like just seeing that person and like sitting here today and what it looks like now. So I just wanted to like outline my story and maybe just lay it all out there. There's just some things I think I need to say. So basically, relapse is a process. We hear this, and it's very true. Like it happens way before you pick up. And I want to say my relapse started creeping in probably around 2017 when I was really into school and it became my number one priority. Around March of that year, I lost my sponsor. So I didn't have a regular sponsor contact of any sort. I wasn't working steps. I wasn't working a program of any sort, really. I thought I had a spiritual connection, but maybe, maybe not. Basically, I started letting my ambition and my budding career get in the way. So I was going to maybe one meeting a week, and I don't know, I got that creeping feeling of like, almost I got this in a way, or like I don't need to go to meetings. I've never liked meetings to begin with, so I don't need them. Like it's cool. I'm doing good. My life is good. Uh, that's basically it. So Memorial Day of that year, I was feeling really sick, like kind of UTI situation, feverish and pain in my lower abdomen, specifically on the right side. So I went to a like Wellstar, just a urgent care place, and they couldn't really do much for me. They were basically like, I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be a cyst. It could be appendicitis. Go home. If it gets worse, go to the ER. All right. Okay. So I go home and it does. It gets worse. And it's on my lower right side, which I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is appendicitis. I don't know. It hurts a lot, but it wasn't like crippling, but it was still enough to be concerned. So I head out to the hospital, the ER, and I mean, long story short, basically they did some tests and everything, and they're like, okay, so you have a mass on your ovary. We don't know what it is, but follow up with your OBGYN, and here's a script for tramadol. All right, cool, cool. So, the pain is there, but it's not something that can't be managed with like Tylenol or Aleve or something. But I have the script for tramadol, and I'm thinking, like, okay, well, there legit is something wrong with me, and I'm in pain, and I have this script, so I'm gonna get it filled. Nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I don't have to suffer just because I'm an addict. Knowing, like, this is a potentially dangerous road to go down a medication, and maybe I shouldn't be messing with. I don't know. Maybe I should call someone. I don't know. Anyway, I get it, and I take them, and they run out. So that sucked for a minute, but I did follow up with my OBGYN. They did tests and all the things they're supposed to do. Got an MRI. Was pretty scared, to be honest with you. Never told anybody. Never thought to pick up the phone. I mean, my parents knew what was going on, but like, so I get the test results back. My doctor's basically like, so you have not one, but two cysts on your ovary, and one is the size of an orange. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. You probably have endometriosis and have for a long time. We won't know until we have surgery, which we have to do very soon, because this thing is huge and it needs to come out. Oh, but guess what? We may have to take your ovary too. It just depends on the cyst. We won't know till we get in there. What? Again, this is scary news for me, okay? I'm still, like, dealing with it on my own. I'm alone. I can do this. Whatever. Don't call anybody. Don't have support. Like, superwoman shit. Classic me. I'm also pissed off because I'm in school and I'm due to graduate at the end of July, and this is at the beginning of June. So this means I have to take a leave to take time to have the surgery and get better, basically. I didn't want to do that, and I was like, can it wait? No, apparently it couldn't. So we schedule it for the end of June. Yada, yada, yada. I go in for my pre-op, and my doctor hands me a paper prescription for Norcos. She knows I'm an addict. She knows I'm in recovery. But she says, go ahead and get these filled just to make sure that you have them, because sometimes the pharmacies don't have them. And these are like Norco 5s or 7.5s, something like. But still, like, that's a drug of choice for me in my hand. And there's nobody with me in this doctor's office. And my brain lit up, I'm not gonna lie. But that afternoon, I think, I went and I almost in autopilot got them filled, and I sat in my car and I looked at the bottle, and like all these things came rushing back to me, and before I knew it, I had popped 2 and was driving back to school. What can I say, but it gave me the superwoman thing that, I don't know, I try to explain to people, but it made me feel like that chemical push, It just, like I was letting out a sigh I didn't know I had been holding, or breath I didn't know I had been holding in. So I think another day or two, I had already made plans to give the bottle to my grand sponsor. But in the meantime, in between time, I took a couple of more. And I took the label off of the bottle, so when I gave them to my grand sponsor, she wouldn't know how many were supposed to be in there. Alright, so cue to the day of the surgery. Still don't want this shit to happen, but it's going to. And, of course they give you the good stuff. And, I'll insert a little clip here, a little snap I did that was, we'll add a little levity to the situation. So here you go.
I'm on the Dirks. I'm probably gonna start saying some funny stuff. My father is judging me. Look, across the room. The judgment.
All I remember just being like, whoa, there it is, and asking the nurse if there was a street name for this shit, because it was funny. Like, it was kind of an Ambien feeling situation, but, whatever. So, had the surgery. So I ate the rest of those Norcos, and was kicking myself for eating the ones before when I didn't fucking need them, because now I did. And the switch was flipped, okay? At this point, the switch was flipped. So the scheming begins. And I call my doctor, and I say, hey, my parents are leaving. Again, she knows I'm a recovering drug addict, and my parents are in charge of the drugs. Hey, my parents are leaving to go back home. I don't want these pills around. I'm gonna flush them, but can you give me something a little less strong, like more tramadol? Somehow convinced them to call in a script for tramadol. So I get that, eat those. I don't remember how many there were, but there weren't many. Um, but my brain was on fire at this point, really. I remember one night driving to a liquor store parking lot and just sitting there and crying my eyes out, looking at my phone and just not being able to push call to anybody and being like, help me. I'm really struggling. I don't know what to do. Somehow, some way, I left that parking lot and I went to a meeting and, all was well, I guess. But then, come July-ish, I start researching maybe natural ways to just feel better, kind of get that same feeling. Because I can't drink, drinking would mean a full on, like, situation here. But, whatever. So I discover kratom on the internet. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? It's an herb, whatever. So I find a little smoke shop that sells the powder, and I take that, and it's nothing like what I would want, like from a pill, but it still got me to the point where I felt like I was myself again, like I wasn't going crazy, and that I was just relieved. Again, that big sigh, and a little bit of like that chemical hug that I've talked about in the past. From then on, I was taking it daily. Daily. Either the little capsules or the powder, and it tastes like ass and grass. Okay, it's disgusting. But then I get a job at a salon as an assistant, and things go good pretty much for the most part. I'm, doing well and get promoted. Finally, like, I'm working my way up. Things are good for a while. And then March of 2018, last year, was my birthday, and I got a trip for me and my boyfriend to go to a cabin up in Blue Ridge. And I don't know why this occurred to me, but I was like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm going to bring a bottle of red wine, which I had so missed, and just have a glass or two each night because we were going to cook steaks and stuff. And I was like, it's my fucking birthday. Whatever. Like, I got this fine. So I did that. Got the bottle thinking it would last the 2 or 3 days. It didn't. I drank almost the whole bottle the first night, and we had to go to Walmart to get more. And my poor boyfriend, he didn't have a clue that, like, I'm not supposed to drink, and I made sure he didn't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. I'll be fine. And I'm not telling anybody because it's none of their fucking business in my head. Like, I'm not sticking a needle in my arm. I'm not smoking pot. Somehow that is in the same realm. I don't know. Give me a break. So, late May of last year, my doctor, because of the endometriosis and the cyst situation, to prevent that from happening, she suggests birth control. Okay, so she puts me on NuvaRing. And I'm good for a while, whatever. And then I start feeling in June, like, kind of weird. And I chalk it up to the fact that I'm moving from the apartment that I've had in Sandy Springs for a couple of years down to Decatur, which is where I'm at now. And it's an unfamiliar place, and I'm just comfortable where I am, and blah, blah, blah. But my anxiety is spiking, man, and I'm depressed, like, really depressed. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not, and I remember asking myself, why is this happening? Why am I feeling this way? Like, nothing has changed. I mean, the move, yeah, but I was excited a couple of months ago. Like, how did this shift just fucking happen? So, July, I move, and, I'm still feeling this way. And at this point, like, I'm so depressed that I'm not really eating much at all, which is weird for me. Like, usually when I get depressed, I eat too much. And I'm sleeping a lot, and I have no motivation. I don't want to go to work. And I basically get hopelessly crying in the shower, suicidal. Sue-fucking-cidal. And I remember having this moment crying in said shower where I was like, at this point, I would rather die or get high because getting high is the only thing I know that will make me feel better. I can't kill myself because that would make my parents too sad. So, I need to get high. The kratom isn't giving me what I want anymore. This is ridiculous. Like, I give up. I got the major fuck it's and just said, fuck it. I'm done. I think about mid to late October, I start fucking around on the dark web because I don't want to fuck around in the bluffs. It would be easy, but like, this would be easier. I'm such an isolator. Like, I don't even want to leave the house to get my drugs. Just have them mailed to me. So, I fuck around and order some pills, Roxy's, my drug of choice, and I take one, nothing. I take another one. These are Roxy 30s, by the way. Nothing. Take half of another one because I only ordered 5, right? I maybe felt a little buzz. I don't know if it was the kratom, which, by the way, I realize now I was fooling myself by being like, oh, I'm using this to manage my addiction. It's not the devil, methadone, or Suboxone. No, this is natural, and this is what I have to do for me. Which is ridiculous. So, it does have a Suboxone-like effect where it will block your opiate receptors. I don't know if it was that, or my tolerance, or what. But basically, it got to the point where I was like, this is too expensive. I need just something strong. So, I find some heroin online. And I purchase it. Express mail. It's out to me in about 2 days. And I believe, I went to a CVS or a Walgreens and was able to get needles. Because let's be real. If I'm gonna do drugs, I'm gonna fucking shoot it in my arm. I'm gonna do it the best way I know how. So it was easy. I just bought the needles and fucking split. No questions asked. And I got home. And I'm scared, but the need to get high overrides this. And I take out a little bit. And I do what I need to do. I'm not going to describe it. Everybody can find out how you do it. And I have a great vein in my right arm that was just calling to me. And I stuck the needle in, pulled the plunger back, saw that blood, man, pushed it in, and felt that fucking rush. And I kid you not, I remember falling forward with my eyes closed and saying, I missed you. I missed you. I missed you so much. Like, over and over again. And I meant every fucking word. I missed you. So, we go down that road for a while. It got old. My tolerance built up again, like fucking Rocket Man. Around November, I'm using about a gram every 2 or 3 days, spending about 200, 250 to 300 every couple of days. And I'm lying, and my parents come for Thanksgiving, and, I tell them that I relapsed, but it was, earlier. Meanwhile, I'm in the bathroom shooting dope while they're in my apartment. And at this point, I've lost probably 15 to 20 pounds because of the depression and not eating. And the heroin, like, I can't spend money on food, and I'm not interested in food. I'd rather spend it on drugs. Early December, I want to say like December 3rd, I was expecting another shipment, which I paid overnight for, to come in, and it didn't. Sorry guys, I gotta smoke. This is a stressful situation. Not really though. Anyway, So, my overnight shipment did not come overnight. And I come to the realization, okay, my plan was I'm going to use through the end of the year, and then I'm going to get clean at the new year. What a resolution, right? But I guess the universe, the great energy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, or maybe just a fucking fluke, had other plans. So I realized, okay, I'm about to detox off of this shit. I got some clonidine from 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. That'll help me through this. It shouldn't be too bad. I haven't been using for that long. Only like 2 months. Well, guess what? Night 2. I'm unable to sleep. All fucking night. Man. I ate my last Xanax. Got maybe a couple hours of sleep. Luckily, that day I had it off. So I just kind of wait. I'm kind of waiting around, man. I'm starting to get the sweats a little bit. Feeling a little, By the third night, holy dicks. It was awful. The restless leg body, I'm gonna call it restless body, because as soon as one leg stopped, the fucking, like, your nerves are on fire. Literally, that's why I think they call it kicking dope, because you're kicking your legs out like you're having a fucking seizure or some shit. I don't recommend it. And then, like, your arms start going, and you think, sleep? God, sleep would just fix this. If I could just sleep and get away from this, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't fucking sleep. And then by the 4th day, I've called out of work, but by the way, I'm dry heaving in a bucket, basically, at my couch, because I don't have the strength to make it to the bathroom. And I don't have anything in my stomach to throw up. So I'm dry heaving, or I'm throwing up just straight up stomach acid. Which, I'm not gonna lie, the act of throwing up or whatever was actually a relief, if you can believe that. Because at that point it would kind of tire me out, and I would lay back and I would get 20 minutes of that half awake kind of sleep. And then, the muscle cramps and the weakness, my God, the weakness. So I ended up calling that whole fucking week out. And my excuse was that I had the fucking flu, So I should say, before this, about 2 weeks before this, I had gone to my therapist, who I've been seeing for years and I love. And I fucking told her, I was like, look, I fucked up. I'm on dope. I want to stop, but I don't think I can. And she had kind of told me to maybe just call Ridgeview and do an outpatient program. And I told her I was going to do it, but I went on another 2-week run because. So I do the week of the detox on my own in my apartment. It started on Monday. By the next Sunday, I'm feeling okay enough to go to the Access Center the next day at Ridgeview and get kind of set up with IOP, because I figure that's going to be fine. So I get home. In the back of my mind, I know this dope is probably still coming, but maybe it got lost in the mail, maybe it got intercepted, I don't know. So after several hours in the Access Center, they tell me to come back the next day for IOP, 7 in the fucking morning. Okay. I have the day off that day, Monday, Tuesday. And this was a Monday, so it was a Tuesday. And I go. And things are fine, right? I do the damn thing. And I get home. Guess what's in my mailbox? Yeah, exactly. Fucking $200 and 2.5 grams of some of the purest looking shit I've ever seen. My heart starts racing, man. My palms start sweating. I start shaking. And I know I'm supposed to call someone, and I know I'm supposed to flush this shit. But I got a box full of needles in the back of my closet, and I'm like, okay, one last taste. So I do one last tiny taste, say, yeah, not worth it. Remembering, still fresh in my head, this horrifying detox I had just gone through. And so the next day, that Wednesday, was supposed to be my first day back to work after IOP, which was 9 to 12. Going to work at 1. That morning, just anxiety all over my body, all through my mind. I'm crying. I cannot stop crying, dude. This is December 12th of 2018. And, I don't know how I'm supposed to go back to work. I can't see the doctor until the next day because he's not in. So I just have to suck it up and do it, man. And I get there, and I'm okay for a minute. Still, people think I had the flu or whatever. Welcome back. Hey, you feeling better? Yeah. Uh-huh. I have a client at, like 2 or something. And before that, I had gone out with a coworker of mine to our little smoking area, and it just comes out of me. I was like, I have a confession to make. I didn't have the flu. I was detoxing. I relapsed on heroin. And she was more than understanding. Like, she knows the whole story. And she's like, it's okay. And I was like, I'm thinking about, taking FMLA, and because I don't know if I can do this and that, and, it might be too much. So she was like, think about it. Maybe try to get through the holidays. I don't know. Okay. So my client comes in, and the whole time, I swear to God, it was like an out-of-body experience. It was like I was looking at myself doing these things, and it's like I forgot how to do hair. I couldn't make my hands make the motions. And somehow I do her haircut. And I start blow drying, and this panic attack that's been building and building finally comes to fruition. And I have to stop, and I put my blow dryer down, and I fake my best smile, and I'm like, do you excuse me for just 1 second? And I go, and I grab an assistant, and I ask her to do this blow dry for me. And she does, and I don't know what to do with myself at this point. I'm walking back and forth, and I pass by the color room, and I see a coworker who knows my situation and is in recovery as well. I don't want to say any names or anything, but for the first time, I said, I need support. So-and-so, I need support. I need help. I fucked up. I relapsed. I'm in IOP. I don't know what to do. Help me. Just help me. And I'm shaking, like violently shaking. And I was like, I need to go. I need to go. And he was on it, man. He was like, okay, all right, let me find our manager. And I was like, she's up at the shampoo bowl, and I don't know what to say. Help me. And he took the lead, man. And she was getting her hair done. And he leaned over, and he told her, like, the situation. I'm, like, at the shampoo bowl, like, trying just to breathe. And, she was like, okay, yeah, go. What do you need? I was like, blah. And so I was basically like, I guess I gotta get my stuff. I don't know. And we walk up the stairs, and my boss is there. And I hit my wall, man. I could not tell one more fucking lie. And I told her the same thing. I was like, so-and-so, I fucked up. I gotta go. And so long story short, eventually, like, everything got taken care of. She was like, what do you need before you walk out this door? I was like, just FMLA stuff. That day I just went down and I lay down on my couch, mentally, emotionally, physically, just drained. I had nothing left in me, and just so grateful that all I had to focus on was myself and going back to rehab. And everybody tried to convince me to go back into like residential treatment, but I was like, nah, I am not spending another Christmas in rehab, because 2014, that's what I did as well. So in that case, my stubbornness was actually tenacity. I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I did. I switched to the PHP program, which is 9 to 3, just like an all day situation. I changed my schedule around, and I started filling my days with meetings, finding meetings I actually wanted to go to. You know, I didn't actually branch out too much last time. This time I'm driving to Johns Creek, I'm driving to Duluth, whatever it takes, doing the 90 and 90 thing. You know, meetings. I started doing yoga like at an actual studio, which I'm continuing to do, and I found to be so helpful for my body and my soul. Started to try to make better connections. I don't know what's going on with this lighting again. Okay. Yada yada yada. Basically, my new clean date is December 12th, 2018. It's hasn't been nearly as much of a struggle this time because of the connections that I already had built in, and the fact that I already knew what to do, basically, and I really like dissected and unpacked what went wrong. You know, in the beginning especially, I only stayed clean to not be sick some days. You know, like, death was not the worst consequence for me. The worst consequence would have been like losing my job or being dope sick, something like that. Death from an overdose or something didn't scare me. Didn't scare me. And that's kind of a fucked up thought if you think about it. Like, that's our survival instinct is the strongest one that we have, and that's how I know, like, this shit is real. And when that switch got flipped, I always want to, yeah, switch got flipped, my brain lit the fuck up like the 4th of July, and it was lit up, and it still lights up every now and then, but it doesn't last like it used to. But, you know, I have, I think 75 days clean today, which is great, miraculous. And my spiritual quest, I think, has been the biggest change. I've let go of the notion of a parental type higher power, just because, you know, in the literature and meetings, the way it's written with God and Him, it really, like, made me feel like it had to be that way. Even though they say, like, your higher power can be anything, like, when you constantly hear those words, I don't know, something for me just said, like, it has to be that way, and I just rebelled the fuck against it. You know, my higher power is different. It's more of a Buddhist situation. Mindfulness and loving kindness and just awareness. I can't even put it into words right now. Like, I'll make another video about that probably, but it's been great, and I feel good right now. Especially, I'm feeling so fulfilled with my career. I'll tell you, man, that first day back could not have gone any better. I had a fun client with fun color, and I realized, like, I can still do hair, because there was a part of me that was like, oh, I don't know if I can still do this, but I can, and I do, and I'm good at it, and I love it, and it makes me feel peaceful and happy. And yeah, it's hard work, and not every day is a fucking party, but, like, it's better than living in that darkness, man. And yes, I am off of that birth control. I realized a little too late that that was what was kind of screwing me over. But hey, better late than never. Feel totally back to normal now that that is out of my system. And I don't really know how to end this, but just to say that there is no fucking shame in going back, and no matter how much time you have, you know, thinking about how tomorrow would have been 4 years, it stings a little bit, but it's like, it is what it is. I'm glad I didn't get that date tattooed on my body like some people do, because this can happen. Like, I remember I told myself I will never do that again. I will never use again. You know what? I did. And I used more. And I used scarier stuff. And it escalated so fast. Faster than the last time. And like, now I realize that. And yeah, like, sometimes it isn't enough to be like, oh, you know, I'll never use again for the rest of my life. But for today, like, yeah, I can fucking do that. The rest of this night, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get high or use a drink or a drug. And I just want to do this right this time. And, like, thank God for the people in my life that get it and who have supported me and have not been, who have just been nothing but loving and supportive and understanding. I feel like I've got a new life now, again. And like, a lot of us don't make it here. So picking up that white chip and that white tag, it was humbling, but it wasn't shameful. So thank you for listening to my story and the rambly bits that were. And you know who you are. If you've touched my life, you know who you are. And I love you guys. And I feel great things coming. So don't do drugs. Hugs, not drugs. And you'll be hearing from me soon. Bye.